caught my wife cheating while I was going on my annual fishing trip. I never thought I'd be one of these suckers on this platform. I'm 34, been married to my wife for 6 years now. We were happy, at least I thought we were. Got a nice house, 2 dogs, and we were talking about having kids soon. I work construction, which means early mornings and hard days. My wife works at a law firm. I first noticed something was off about 3 months ago. She started acting different. Suddenly she was always hanging out with her girlfriends, going to these girls' nights 3 or 4 times a week. But she never posted any pictures though, never told any stories about what they did. She bought new clothes that I never saw her wear around me. She started wearing a different fragrance. When I asked about any of this stuff, she'd get all defensive. She came up with these ridiculous excuses that didn't make sense. I wanted to believe her, but something felt wrong. My buddy at work kept telling me to trust my gut. Said his ex-wife did the same kind of stuff before he caught her cheating. I didn't want to think my wife would do that to me. Then came my annual fishing trip with the guys. We do this every year, head up to my buddy's cabin for the weekend. My wife knows about it months in advance. This year, I got this weird feeling I couldn't shake. I packed all my gear, loaded up the truck like normal, kissed her goodbye that morning, but instead of heading north to the cabin, I parked down the block and waited. I told the guys I'd catch up later. I had some stuff to take care of first. They gave me crap about it, but I couldn't shake this feeling in my gut. I only waited about 30 minutes before this truck pulled into the driveway. Some guy in a suit got out and walked right up to our front door, like he'd been there 100 times before. I pulled out my phone and zoomed in, and my wife opened the door wearing barely anything. I felt sick to my stomach as I watched them, couldn't hold back any longer. I stormed up to the house, used my key, and burst through the front door. They jumped apart, their faces frozen in shock. I don't even remember exactly what I yelled, but I let out everything I was feeling. The guy tried to make excuses, said they were just friends. Can you believe that crap? I told him to get the hell out of my house before I put a bullet in his ass. He grabbed his shirt and ran for the door like the coward he was. My wife just stood there, crying, said it was just a mistake and it didn't mean anything, but we both knew all of that was a lie. 8 years together, 6 years of marriage, all thrown away for some guy in a suit and a mistake. I couldn't even look at her, just grabbed my keys and walked out, drove to a motel and checked in, turned off my phone, sat on the edge of the bed for hours, just staring at the wall, thinking about all the signs I missed, all the lies she told me, all the nights she was with him instead of me, and wondering how I was going to pick up the pieces of my life now that everything I thought I knew was a lie. I woke up the next morning in that crappy motel room. For a second, I forgot why I was there. Then it all came crashing back. My wife, the guy in the suit, the look on their faces when I walked in. I checked my phone, 23 missed calls, 15 texts, 10 voicemails, all from her. I couldn't bring myself to read them. Instead, I called my buddy Rick. He answered on the first ring, like he'd been waiting for my call, told him what happened. He said to stay put. He was coming over. 30 minutes later, Rick showed up with coffee and breakfast sandwiches, sat across from me at the little motel table. Didn't say much at first, just let me talk. I told him everything, how I'd been suspicious for weeks, how I skipped the fishing trip to catch her, how I found them together in our home. When I finished, Rick looked me straight in the eye, said I needed to be smart about what I did next, said his cousin went through something similar last year, made all the wrong moves, and got screwed in the divorce, lost his house, half his retirement, ended up paying her alimony. That woke me up real quick. I needed to protect myself. Rick referred me to a good lawyer he knew, called him right there from the motel room, put him on speaker so I could explain the situation. The lawyer said I needed evidence, proof of the affair, said that even though I caught them together, it would be my word against theirs in court. I needed more than that if I wanted to avoid getting taken to the cleaners. He advised me not to move out of the house permanently, said that could be used against me later, said I should go back home, act calm, and start gathering evidence. Rick thought it was a good plan. I wasn't so sure. The thought of facing my wife again made me sick, but I knew the lawyer was right. I needed to be smart about this. After Rick left, I forced myself to read her texts. They were exactly what I expected, saying she was sorry, saying it was a mistake, begging me to come home so we can talk. The last one caught my attention. She said if I didn't come home by tonight, she'd call my parents, tell them I disappeared after we had a fight. That kind of pissed me off, using my family against me. That's when I knew for sure our marriage was over, and I was going to make damn sure I came out on top. I texted her back, short and simple, said I needed time to think, said I'd be home tomorrow. Then I called my parents myself. I told them exactly what happened. My dad was furious. My mom cried. They both said to come stay with them. I thanked them, but said no, told them I had a plan. Next, I called my boss, explained the situation. He gave me 2 weeks off, no questions asked, said to take whatever time I needed. With that settled, I drove to the bank. I didn't take all the savings out. I couldn't. I would have to end paying part of it back in the divorce, put it in a new account, just in my name. Then I went to the store and bought a few things I'd need: a small camera, a voice recorder, a new laptop she didn't know about. By the time night fell, I had everything in place. I wasn't just going to leave her. I was going to make sure she couldn't take anything else from me. Tomorrow I'd go home, start acting like I was considering forgiving her, all while building my case, all while preparing for the moment when I'd finally show her exactly what happens when you betray someone who trusted you completely. I fell asleep that night with a plan in my head, and for the first time since I caught them together, I didn't feel helpless. I felt in control and ready for revenge. I went home the next day around noon. She was waiting for me, sitting on the couch, eyes all puffy from crying, hair a mess, wearing my favorite dress of hers. When I walked in, she jumped up, tried to hug me. I stepped back, kept my distance, told her not to touch me. She started crying again, said she was sorry a million times, said it didn't mean anything. Just once, she claimed, a moment of weakness. I knew she was lying, but I didn't call her out yet. Instead, I told her I needed time, said I wasn't sure if our marriage could be saved, but I was willing to try counseling. Her face lit up with hope. It was almost too easy. I made up some rules for us staying together, said I needed complete transparency, access to her phone, her email, her social media. She agreed immediately, said she'd do anything to fix things. I told her I'd sleep in the spare bedroom for now. Couldn't share a bed with her yet. She understood, she said, would give me all the space I needed. That night, while she was in the shower, I set up the small camera in our bedroom, hid the voice recorder under the living room coffee table, all legal in our state since it was my property too. The lawyer had confirmed that. Over the next few days, I played the part of the hurt but healing husband. Went to work, came home, made small talk, even watched TV with her one night, all while my traps were gathering evidence. It only took 3 days to catch her. She waited until I left for work, called in sick to her own job, then called him, the guy in the suit. I watched the whole thing, later on my new laptop, how she invited him over, how she told him they needed to be more careful, how she laughed about me believing it was just a one-time thing, how she said I was so naive, thinking our marriage could be fixed, how she was only staying until she figured out how to get the house in the divorce. I recorded it all, downloaded it, backed it up in 3 different places. Then I called the lawyer, emailed him the footage. He called me back an hour later, said I hit the jackpot, said this was exactly what we needed, not just proof of the affair, but proof of her intentionally lying to me, proof of her plans to take the house. It was enough for an at-fault divorce in our state, enough to protect my assets. I should have felt relieved, but all I felt was hollow. 8 years together, all those memories, all those dreams we had, all destroyed. And for what? I still couldn't understand it. That night at dinner, she asked how my day was, smiled at me like nothing was wrong, reached for my hand across the table. I let her take it, smiled back, told her I thought we were making progress, said maybe we should invite some friends over that weekend, have a cookout like we used to, show everyone we were working things out. She loved the idea, started planning right away, who to invite, what to cook. I sat there watching her, amazed at how easily she could lie, how she could look me in the eye and pretend, while I did the exact same thing. The next day, I put the final part of my plan in motion, called her parents, asked them to come to the cookout, said it would mean a lot to both of us. They agreed, sounded hopeful. Called my parents too, and all our closest friends. By Friday, everything was set. The trap was ready. I spent that night in the spare room, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how different my life will be after tomorrow, how everything would change once the truth came out. I wasn't just gathering evidence for the divorce anymore. I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly who she really was. The mask was about to come off, and I couldn't wait to see her face when it did. Saturday morning arrived, sunny and clear, perfect weather for a cookout, perfect weather for revenge. My wife was up early, cleaning the house, marinated meat for the grill, setting up the backyard. She seemed genuinely excited, asked me to pick up ice and extra drink. I agreed and said I needed to run a few errands anyway. Really, I just needed some time to prepare myself. I drove to my buddy Rick's house. He helped me set up a special surprise for the party, a digital picture frame that could play videos loaded with all the evidence I'd collected, set up to start with our wedding photos, then transition to the footage of her and him, the recordings of her admitting her plans, everything I needed to expose her in front of everyone. I got back home an hour before guests were due to arrive, found my wife putting the final touches on everything. She'd made her famous potato salad, cut up fruit for sangria. She even bought my favorite beer. It was like watching an actress play the role of the perfect wife, but I knew the truth now, knew exactly who she really was. Around 3 o'clock, people started showing up. Her parents arrived first, hugged us both, looked relieved to see us together. My parents came next, then friends from work, from the neighborhood, about 20 people in all. Everyone was relaxed, having a good time. Several people commented on how glad they were to see us working things out. If only they knew. My wife was playing her part perfectly, standing close to me, touching my arm when she laughed, telling everyone how we were in a better place now. I let her performance go on for about an hour, let everyone get comfortable, get some food and drinks. Then I asked for everyone's attention, said I had something special to share. My wife looked surprised, but pleased, probably thought I was going to make some announcement about our fresh start. I went inside and brought out the digital frame, set it up on the patio table where everyone could see, told everyone I'd put together a little slideshow, a celebration of our journey together. My wife was beaming now, stood next to me, slipped her arm around my waist. I pressed play. It started just like I said, wedding photos, vacation memories, our smiling faces through the years. People were awing and smiling. Then it changed. The screen showed the date and timestamp. Then the footage from our bedroom, her and him. I'd edited out the explicit parts, but there was no mistaking what was happening. Everything went silent. I heard my wife gasp beside me, heard her mother's sharp intake of breath. The video kept playing. Now the audio of her laughing about me, calling me stupid, planning to take the house. Some people looked away. Others couldn't take their eyes off the screen. My wife was frozen, face white as a sheet. When it finally ended, no one spoke for what felt like forever. Then my wife tried to grab the frame. I moved it away. She started saying this was all a misunderstanding, that I'd taken things out of context. Her voice sounded desperate, high-pitched and shaking. I just looked at her, asked how her words could possibly be taken out of context. Her father stood up then, said they should go. Her mother was crying. Friends were whispering. Some were already gathering their things. My buddy Rick put his hand on my shoulder, asked if I wanted him to stay. I told him I was good. Told everyone they could go or stay, their choice. Most people left pretty quick. My parents hugged me tight before they went, said they were proud of how I handled it. Her parents couldn't even look at me, just took her inside to collect her things. When everyone was gone, I sat alone in the backyard, staring at the half-eaten food, the abandoned drinks. I felt strangely calm. When my wife finally came out, bag in hand, her face was streaked with mascara. She started to say something. I just told her, "Don't say anything to me." Told her my lawyer would contact hers. Told her the house keys had better be on the counter before she left. Told her we were done. She tried again to explain. Said she really did love me. Said the other guy meant nothing. I just laughed. Asked why I should believe anything she said now. She had no answer for that. Just picked up her bag and walked away. I heard her car start, heard it pull out of the driveway, and then there was silence. It's been 6 weeks now. The divorce is almost final. She didn't contest anything once my lawyer showed the evidence. She moved in with her parents until she can find another place of her own. I heard the guy in the suit got divorced too. His wife took him for everything. Serves him right. As for me, I'm selling the house. Too many memories, good and bad. I'm not going to lie and say I'm completely healed. Some days are still hard. Sometimes I miss the person I thought she was, but I know now that person never really existed. Just a mask she wore, a role she played. The real her is the one I caught with another man, the one who laughed behind my back, the one who planned to take everything from me. So yeah, some days are tough, but I'm getting through it. And the look on her face when that video played, when everyone finally saw the truth, that was worth all the pain. Sometimes the best revenge is just making sure the truth comes out and letting everyone see exactly who they really are.